Hello, good morning, and welcome. What's going on, guys? Hopefully, everybody's doing great today on this January 6th, 2023 morning. So, non farm payrolls dropped, jobs report, whatever you want to call it, and people are pretty stoked. That being said, we are still well within this crazy range that we've been establishing. Why don't we kind of look at this stuff, eh? Yeah, yeah. I think that sounds good. Let's do that. Here's our report page. All right, our daily look's going to give us the best impression. So, I mean, really look at this. We've been stuck between these two big points right here. And one of the reasons why I adjusted my support resistance between those two lines, the yellow lines is what I'm looking at here, is because that's where the volume profile matches up the best. And I do use the bottom of the bar for setting my areas. But that basically just tells us that anything above this point and below this point is when we get into that excess that seems to create reversals a lot better, right? So we've seen this rather large valuation zone where short-term traders, momentum traders have really just kind of been taking control of the market as it hasn't really been going anywhere, just kind of grinding its wheels between our 61.8 and our 50 retracement on the Fibonacci from our last swing low to our last swing high. And of course, that swing high was when we broke the previous long-term downtrend. And now, of course, we're looking at this crossover pattern, right, in our EMAs, and then this touchback on the 20 that then led us back down, and we're still consolidating underneath it. So it's really hard to tell, right? There's a lot of bearish indicators in kind of what we're looking at. The NQ's been really suffering, but the ES has just kind of been doing its thing, not really getting pushed around. Of course, we do have our brain freeze. We do have our hold on, what's the word? I'm going to find it. Our moving averages, yes, are showing us bearish, right? I mean, we need to cross back above the 20 and the 50. We need to find some support up above it, and then we need to obviously attempt to test our downtrend again. So for now, we are still looking at the 61.8, that 20 moving average, as our best risk to reward entries for our short positions. Obviously, we want to be cautious about entering in positions there, especially the longer this condenses, the more explosive and violent the eventual move is going to be. So if we do start to see traction taking hold above that point, we need to bail on those positions and not hold and hope. I mean, you should never hold and hope, but especially not in a situation like that. You can very quickly get captured in situations like that. So that being said, you could play it a little bit safer and you could wait for the confirmation and then the inevitable break back down and then just try and catch some of the momentum as it's falling. We can also see here that we have a little bit of an apex forming. Lower highs, higher lows, much more aggressive higher lows than lower highs. Now, the other thing to point out with that, though, is that there's a lot more volume basing as we're climbing up. We kind of have this gap in activity here between that high and that high. But yeah, we're about to drop into opening bell, so we're going to switch back to our screen for trading and see if we get any early trades today. Nope, and there it is. There's the bell. Awesome. Okay. Looks like we're starting kind of right smack dab in no man's land. We've got our overnight high, overnight low. We are technically on a gap up, not a true gap, of course, because we do have overnight session overlap. that even goes below yesterday's activity. So let's see if we get a gap fill first. Right out of the gate, I am going to be looking for a long position. Now, when I say that, I don't mean like right this second. There's a couple things that need to happen. But based on this activity, I am looking to see if we are going to flesh out some more area to the upside. So I want to see just how far this goes down. I want to see if it fills the gap, and I want to see if the activity starts to dry out as it tries to push back down into these lower areas. Um, if we do take that early trade, we'll be trying to play the long up towards the VPOC we created yesterday with our T+2 point of control. You can kind of see that hanging out there, 1-4, just below our overnight high. And then eventually, I mean, if that ends up gone, we do have our upper target up near the 20 moving average on our daily. So we just hit our lower target. We just hit our gap fill. So now we need to start paying attention. See if we're going to get an early trade here. We're going to load up. What contracts do I want to load up? I think I want the 382s. Yeah, 382 sounds good. We should also be able to jump in and out very easy on the 382 because that is our max pain point currently in the market. And for those of you who are new-ish, max pain is where, or the strike price, I should say, that the most calls and puts, or the maximum amount of pain, will be put on investors if it ends up there. It's an interesting number. Sometimes it does play some critical roles in decision making. Normally, I'd say it's much closer to when we have quad witching days, when max pain plays more of an important role. But I still like to know where it is on the chart. I like to know where the biggest pain points are. And I mean, it's kind of smack dab in the middle of where our support and our resistance are on this big consolidation zone. So, all right. We've now broken up over. Probably grabbing a long position right at the previous day high would have been a great play, but it's already kind of passed us by. So let's see. We're going to look for a retest or a new low. Things are moving very quickly, though. I get a little skeeved out trying to play when things are moving this quickly, and there isn't anything that gives me like solid directional play. All right, cool. So we missed the second opportunity to enter. Hindsight analysis. So after we touched the previous day high, and that showed us the cross back through VWAP, that would have been a great place to take our first long. After we crossed back through the EMAs, you can see that we had a touchback near our 20 moving average, right where that crossover point is, which also is very, very close to where our opening price was. So that would have been another great spot to enter because, of course, if things drop below that, then we knew that we were probably in for a little bit more chop and we could get out of our position. But if it didn't cross back through, hey, then we were sitting pretty. All right, we're about to touch the VPOC. So this is where we could see another turnaround for some exploration lower. See if it just kind of fixes itself, repairs itself a little bit. And there we go, VPOC repaired. So we'll see if we get a little pinning here. We'll see if we get a turnaround. And see if it just doesn't hold the price back at all. Got some pretty solid volume already, 5 minutes in. A lot of buying momentum. Not as much on the Qs, but definitely on our ES. This is one of the highest ticks of the last 2 days. Actually, it is the highest tick of the last 2 days. And it's still going. That VPOC did not pin us at all. All right, so here's our overnight high. Another potential pivot. Little stall out here. So far, no big pushbacks. Okay, there we go. Here's a test of the 20. So my guess is that's probably somebody dumping some longs, taking some profit off the table. Now, of course, if we get serious follow through there, then we've got some real selling up at the overnight high. But first test of VWAP. This will be a good test for the bulls. If VWAP holds here, then bulls are holding control so far this morning. In fact, that actually would have been a great spot to grab a long just for risk to reward, because we wouldn't have to hold that for too much. Oh, I think I missed my opportunity. I saw a good price just for a second and then it disappeared. Okay. So this is the absolute low where it should have turned back around if bulls were in control. And it did not. So looks like that rally is dumping off. Profit being taken, people who opened those positions early getting out. Doesn't mean that we're not going to get in long. We are still looking for a higher low. So that actually might be it. Although we are having a crossover event. So we're just going to sit on our hands. Some pretty chaotic, violent action this morning. Yeah, that volume flipped. Although we're at like 80% sell on the day and they haven't made a lower low yet. Ah, there it is. All right. Bears aren't done yet. I was wondering. But the good news is this pushback much better entry potential down near here because we're getting close to our T+2 value low. Of course, we also have the previous day point of control below. And if they don't go and repair that, but I digress. So now that we've got a little bit of activity, there's our first pivot. I'm just going to draw a channel and adjust that as it goes to see how things kind of pan out, play out. It is a pivot line down there. Got some pretty powerful downward pushing right now, though. Going to need a lot of bullish momentum to climb out of this one. So this, if we get a push up to the previous day high, that's going to end up running right into our 20. It'll be a good risk to reward spot to get short. You can also see that the volume gets pretty thin in our profile there too. So that's the other reason why. I mean, if it gaps up through that, then yeah, get the heck out of the way. Because our next high volume node is up at the... Did I call that our 20? I don't use the 20 and the 50 on the shorter time frame. Sorry, that's our 13 and our 48. Herp. What do we want to do? Waves are starting to fall off and slow down. Selling waves aren't getting much more, but they're also not very big. Yeah, broke through again. So we're heading closer to our stop point. So we're still looking for longs above that point. With this current activity, though, jumping in on a long would be a little bit crazy. But once we get below that line, then we'll probably start looking for a peak to short after the first correction. So if we get below the stop, we're probably not going to make our first trade until late B period or C period. So this is a pretty big bull wave, but it's struggling to take back momentum from the sellers. I say pretty big. Again, we're talking relative to previous waves. I mean, that bull wave is roughly the same size as the previous bear wave, and it did not reclaim that entire move. In fact, it got about a little less than half of it. Oh, that was an interesting candle. Still adjusting our channel. All right. So we are below our stop line now. We did repair that previous day point of control. If we get a rather large bull wave that starts here, I will probably make a small entry position on that. But it's got to start here at this previous day point of control for me to like that. Oh, you guys can possibly hear another stream that I'm listening to. Give me 1 second while I pour the first vodka of the day. Apparently, I can't mute it. Just kidding. Nope, can't mute it at all. Okay. Yeah, Arthur Dent, dizzy. So that's cool. Way to put it. What Arthur just said, dizzy. That's exactly it. It's like up, down, up, down, up, down. Huge swings and all the. There we go. Now you guys shouldn't be hearing that anymore. But for anybody who may have been curious, what I was listening to was Peter Resnicek, the Shadow Trader. I like him. He's a cool dude. He drops a lot of really good knowledge. I've learned a lot about market profile from following his videos throughout the years. I do utilize his paid services, some of them. Some of my internals are custom codes that his team has made. It looks like we might be getting a pinning effect here at our previous state point of control. Yep, definitely getting some pinning here. Cool. Looks like we're hitting our first consolidation of the morning. Got a pretty wide spread in our cloud. Just kind of further evidence of what we already knew about how powerful the bear wave was this morning. And that's why indicators are cool, but you always have to remember they tell you things that already happened. Right? So the idea is using the indicators, you're trying to put a incomplete picture together. So I mean, you can use indicators as entry and exits, but that's just not my style. All right. Oh, look at our volume profile here, right? There's a nice, thin, little space right here. So that's the point that we're going to be looking for, right? If it can break up through that, we could see a rotation back up to VWAP, which makes sense. So look at our channel. Look at where VWAP is. Look at how it's lining up with a previous higher volume node in our volume profile. It makes sense that we would see some upward movement that breaks up to that before this, makes its next move, either holding VWAP and continuing down, or then trying to make a rotation back up. Good morning. Hello. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. Here we go. Busting through that little volume area. All right, let's see if it works. So if everything kind of plays out that way too, that'll clean up our channel for the day as well and give us a little bit more confidence in taking some positions based off of our technical analysis, which is always nice. It's interesting. We've got the price action kind of pinned right in that low volume gap, but it's not really moving yet. There it is. Okay, now it rotated through that higher volume node. Now it's approaching that next little low volume node, which is right where our channel is, but it's still not quite where our VWAP is. So if bears are really strong, we should see a turnaround at the low volume point right where the channel is, but it doesn't look like it because it looks like we're actually starting to pick up some volume right here. So high-ish likelihood that we do get the full test of VWAP. So, I mean, you could try taking a short here, but I think I'm going to hold off a little bit longer. I'll show you why. So if things play out in my perfect scenario, I'm expecting the channel to look something like this. Right? We've still got that VWAP in play, and this is actually based off of our upper lines too. So if we actually just connect those 2 points right there, it looks a little bit more like that. So it looks like I am glad that that we held off on that first entry. There you go, popping through the next little low volume area. So far, nobody's stepping in to stop them. And this is where we should see some action, right? We're getting to that higher volume node right around VWAP. We'll see if our channel line is accurate at all. Potential terminal volume there. We are getting closer to a crossover point now, though. So that does make me a little skeezed out on trying to play the short now. Ideally, I wanted to see it rise much faster. It looks like a lot of other people were also watching the same spot I was. But again, we're getting that crossover, so this touchback here, that's the potential support for our long move to actually break all this. I mean, looking at our internals, we've got a lot more positive ticks going on today, even though we saw this pretty dramatic sell-off from the morning. Breath ratio's positive still. I mean, our advanced decline is freaking all over the place, but all right, so it didn't quite cross over, right? It did pull back through. Man, a little squeeze zone right there. If I had seen this again, if it had risen with a little bit more speed, I would have had a lot more confidence trying to grab that short there, because then it would have been silly not to. But it rose so slow that those moving average lines, they got really close together, and it looked like we were going to get a crossover right by our VWAP, right with our channel top. And I mean, that's ripe for a break. Like, that's kind of the precursor to what happens on a textbook break. So maybe we're just going to sit on our hands till C period. That might be the case. Might be able to get a momentum short if we're quick and we scalp it if this line breaks here. Oh, you can't hear anything, huh? Oh, dang it. I was trying to help somebody with a little tech problem in the Discord, and we missed the activity. Okay, so let's see what just happened here. Wow. I mean, I was only looking over my shoulder for a second there. Okay, so we did finally get our cross back. We broke the VWAP. We're getting some pinning right there at that high volume node on our 3-month look. Our trend line upheld. It doesn't seem to be running away from VWAP quite yet. We've got a pretty big span of activity for B period already, right across where our point of control is developing, which, I mean, it's right where all that volume is. I mean, I hate entering so close to a point of control, but I don't know. This is seeming like it might have been a good spot to get long. We're right at the previous day high, right? Yeah, and she's starting to break up. And we're left in the dust again. Oh, well, looks like this morning session is just not ours. And that's all right. Not losing any trades either. Can't get stressed out about it. Trades come, trades go. Ooh, look at that. Ticked above the open, and then some trapped orders there from our first drop down just triggered. Ooh. I think that's going to add some fuel to this. Oh boy. Oh, I really would like to buy this closer to our 13. Hmm. Is she fizzing out? Are we just looking at a really ugly balance day? I guess those orders that triggered did not fuel, and it looks like maybe some new orders are actually jumping in here. So we're going to put a little supply box there. So there's the touch of our 48. So we've had our crossover, we had a peak, and then we just had a touch of the 48. So perfect world, that's the trumpet that lets us know we're potentially looking for the drop back through. Now, given how this activity is this morning, I don't think we should be trusting anything that sounds like it's textbook. But who knows? Maybe we will get a lower peak, or maybe it's just going to crumble right back through VWAP here. This is wild. Whew. Jeez, I just had to mute myself for a second there. A little coughing fit. All right, so push back to VWAP. Did not push through. Man, this is gross activity. And it's balance, but it is ugly balance. I mean, the good news is if we end up breaking this trend line, we should be able to grab a momentum scalp short. Yeah, and it is just straight up pinned to this point of control. Man, we might not take any trades today. Just gonna sit, wait for C period. Maybe something will look good. Although I don't know why I haven't adjusted a new channel yet. I mean, we've got a lot of really good touches on this bottom line. All right, here we go. That's that supply zone, right? Let's see if we punch this. It's trying. It's trying. Getting some pretty decent volume spikes. Getting a pretty nice bull wave. Sleepy bulls waking up. Angry bears going to bed. Maybe. I mean, we're officially back up over the open now. So everybody's screens just flipped green. Yeah, that supply zone is gone now. Well, I suppose the good news is, looking back at everything, we did call the breakup. Granted, I was looking away as it happened, but our channel was situated appropriately. I mean, if you guys were watching the video, you saw me adjust it to that point before it even moved there. Of course, for every time we get one of those super correct things, there's plenty of things we get wrong. I am not a wizard. I don't have a magic 8-ball. I don't know what the market's going to do. Nobody knows what the market's going to do. We can just make some guesses based off of what we see. Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. Hopefully we're right more than we're wrong. And hopefully when we're wrong, we cut losses quickly. And when we're right, we let the winners run. That's how you're successful. That's the only way to be successful. Except, of course, I guess insider trading could also make you successful. But, successful until you get caught. Well, internals are still looking green. Breath ratios are all green except for XLV, which is just barely red. Is that a 0 or is that a 6? I think it's a 0. Yeah, weighted's flipping positive. That's our advanced decline. You guys can't see that on your screen, though. So just for I'm gonna flip my screen to my internals just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And what that screen kind of looks like. There you go. So this is one of the screens that I have in my top left corner. So we just have the ES, the NQ, breath ratios, the weighted advanced decline. We've got some tick charts for the ES and the NQ. So yeah. When I say the internals are mostly green, this is what I'm talking about, right? So here's the start of our day. And then, you can see just how many more positive ticks there were. Even that big dip, it really didn't go anywhere. And then this shows the accumulation. And again, moving down, it just hasn't been able to really accumulate anything below our baseline, right? And of course, we can look over here at the Qs and we can see that it's been accumulating upwards. So there's bullish internals going on. And now, we look like we're getting ready to cross over on our advanced decline. That's going to be a bullish sign if it crosses over. It's kind of fighting itself. We'll see what happens here. But anyways, yeah, those are the internals. Look, here's a touch of our 200 on our 15-minute for the NQ, breaking above the 200 on our 15-minute on the ES. This little pink line here is our VWAP. That seems to be weighted to Thursday. That's not how that's supposed to work. Yeah, we'll fix that some other time. I don't have time for that nonsense right now. No, that's my main chart. That's what I look at. Where did my stream go? There you are. Okay. Yeah, back to the view you guys get to see. Did your sound issue resolve, Lucky? Can you hear me now? I know that was not working for you earlier. I'll tag you in the chat room here, so that way you can post it where I'll see it. Feel like that Sprint guy. Can you hear me now? Good. Yeah, who remembers that commercial? All right. It's probably a very terrible time, but yeah, I'm gonna take a bio break real quick while this is just doing nothing. All right, I'll be right back, guys. Okay, we're back. Well, looks like she broke out of that pin zone. Got a pour low now. About 11 minutes till we hit period C. Ooh. I mean, with this pour high, we would expect that it's going to correct it at some point. So hopefully, oh, man, just looking at all this stuff. A pullback to then correct it looks unlikely. So it actually looks like it's probably going to correct it sooner rather than later. Do we try and jump on before we get to C period? We've had a little bit of weakness in our moving average, but I mean, it hasn't really. I mean, it's been making higher highs after the weakness. So we call it weakness, but it isn't. If we make higher highs after it tests the cloud, that's not weakness. It's only when you make a lower high after a test that's when, the trumpet starts playing time to break. So, I mean, the break of the consolidation zone, that support's held. That's ideally where we'd want to take our long position if we are going to try and take a long here for the break without a pullback before correction. We're going to have to make that decision soon, though. All right, well, I just switched to the 383s. So that way, if I am wrong, we should be able to dump them without getting hurt too bad. I still haven't decided if I'm pulling the trigger yet. It was a good price for a second, and I hesitated. Wanted it right at the POC. All right. No, that's not what we want. So it looks like we could have gotten an even better price. I did have to put a little bit more of a stop on it than I would really have liked. Ooh. Oh, I could have added to it right there. Really good. Is it going to go back? Dang. Almost got to add to it for a 20-cent drop, which was where our original stop loss was. That would have been nice. Oh, because we could have shaved some pretty good profit right here and just protected that position well. So unfortunately, that means we're still, there's still the danger of this not working out. And we can't really secure any profit to make it so, what's the word? Oh, that we'll break even on a loss. Oh, yeah, we're not. We wanted to see this rise up a little bit faster. Like I said, you get that cross back through. We don't want to see a lower high. We need to break 380, 382. It's kind of getting pinned to that POC again. We got 4 minutes to C period. I mean, I definitely think I want to be long going into C. Oh, I think we're about to get stopped out. Oh, that's close. Very close. All right, let's see if we can add a little bit here. Okay. And that brings us to that. Okay, not too bad. 8. Oh, do I want to have that a little below the open? Ooh, we're starting to break back through. 18. Hold on. Okay. I do want to put that below the open for as we're getting ready to go into C period. It's a little bit more than I normally like to risk. But everything's been super weird this morning. I mean, we did just finally break through the channel. We are starting to look at a crossover event, so this is starting to tell me more and more that I may not be on the wrong side, but I may be early. C period may try and drop a low before it goes and corrects that high. I mean, it does still say it's squeezing, and we are below that slight thin gap in our volume profile. So, I mean, we'd love to see the open price hold as the new support, even if it kind of chews sideways for a bit here. Got C period coming down in about 60 seconds. Looking like we're getting that crossover. So the other thing C period could do, if we don't go and repair that poor high first, it could dump, start the reversal, and then garner some more power for the up move before it goes and fixes that. So at that point, we would let it stop us out, and then we would look for potentially grabbing a long play again. Oh, that's getting closer and closer to crossing back through. There's more signs telling us we're on the wrong side. Ten seconds. All right, C period has started. Let's see if we get the fix or if we get the dump. Is it going to break up that value? Can't tell if this is petering out or not. Well, regardless, I actually just made a mistake there. I should have taken a little bit of profit because I had 10 cents. So if I sold 2 of my 5, that would put us up 20 cents, and that would allow us to keep our stop and pretty much break even. It limits our potential profit if this ends up working out, but it protects us, it keeps us safer. And this just does not look like it's generating that momentum. I mean, TTM squeeze is telling us that we are starting to squeeze, but I mean, look at this. This is pathetic. It can't break out of the value high. Hmm. Oh, tough call, guys. So we are going to go ahead and potentially secure some profit if this flips. It's just a very slow grind. Very slow grind. All right, I'm moving that stop up a little bit. I mean, I'd love to capture the 30 cents. If it moves a little bit higher without stopping us up, we'll try and capture that 30 cents. All right. Well, we took 20 cents. We're still holding 3 positions. Oh man, there it is. Would have just gotten the 30 cents there. Oh well. Looks like our poor it's so close to wanting to correct, but it's just grinding around. Poopy activity today. There it is. All right. Sold 1 up there at the pivot. We got 2 left. We're sitting really good now. What the heck? Where's my average price? Wow, way the heck down there. That's cool. All right, well, we've got a correction. So, I mean, it could die out here now, but things are still feeling pretty bullish. So, it'd be great if we can just let this run and ride without it coming back and knocking us out. And I'm gonna check our progress. All right. Actually, we're almost at our goal for today off this position. Not too bad. So once we actually hit that, we'll sell another piece and then let the last one just ride it out. Here we go. See if we can get some volatility on this. It kind of died out. Come on, another little surge. Yeah, we're losing volatility. Dang. So the fun thing about playing the volatility like that, right, on the little spikes, the jumps, you can sometimes sell your contract for more than what it would actually be worth if the price naturally kind of moves to um, where you're trying to sell it at. So when playing multiple contracts, that is one of the reasons why that's part of my strategy is whenever you get a big little pump like that, you just take some profit, right? Because I mean, there's those opportunities don't always show themselves. Man, this is still such a slow grind. Yeah. See, did you see that jump there? Now that the volatility's died out. So that's basically telling us that that's where it should get to for us to collect that price. Oh, it is struggling. Well, regardless, I'm done trading after this position. Today's been just crap. Oh, come on. Oh my gosh. See now, if it had done that at the first thing, like if we got that volatility, it would have just sold right there and we wouldn't be playing this silly little game. But because the volatility died out, it pushed it up higher. I mean, it's just a few flipping cents from it. Of course. But we are at a high volume node. So, I mean, that's also why we targeted that, right? Because we expect to see some shares changing hands here. But in theory, that should pump the volatility even more. High volume coming in and out. Oh my goodness. Come on, sell it. Sell it, you turkey. There we go. Oh my goodness. Jeez, that was ridiculous. All right. All right. So my next target for a stop out, right? My stop's going to be there because if it stops us out there, I'm still going to hit my goal for today. And if it doesn't, we can ride this out for a while. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up there because, like I said, I'm not going to take any new positions today. We're going to let that ride out. We hit our goal. We don't need to trade anymore today. So we're going to do other things with our life and our time because that's really the end goal, right? We don't want to be sit here glued to charts forever, every single day. We want to be able to make our money, call it a day, and then go do other things. All right. Well, hey guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please like, subscribe, join our Discord, come hang out with me live while I do this. And yeah, I mean, I hope you enjoyed this wild activity and the analysis as we were getting back into it. This is I think this is day 3 or 4 for us trading. Yeah, there's only one live video. The other day, I did not get up on time. I did not sleep well, so I wasn't even sure if I was going to trade, so I didn't record a video. And I didn't actually end up trading. It was just me drawing lines on my chart and coloring it in with my crayons. All right, guys. You have an awesome day, and I will catch you on the flip side.